Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Stories from the Unbound Shores. Where we last left off, our group had just finished a not easy fight with a group of undead, particularly shadows, uh, odd shadow hounds, and a bone claw. In efforts to advance their way through the tournament and to appease the crowd, in hopes of earning back a belonging of Aurelion. Gotta stop pumping.
The scabbard.
Yes. The scabbard that once belonged to his father. If memory serves correctly, the fight had just ended, and no more steps had really been taken beyond that. It had just hit time, so they're still in the field, crowd's still cheering. The lights have come back on, so you can easily make your way to the exit. Nightmare is still out in the ethereal realm because pain. Did not have a good time in that last fight.
No.
Not dead by any means, but would like attention.
Oh, we know that she wants attention?
I suppose she probably hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
But she generally always wants attention, so it's a safe assumption.
I mean, I'm not sure if I would say that it does seem to. She likes to be independent. But okay, if our characters know that, then I will run off of that. I think at the moment, Roland is still kind of like enjoying the attention he's getting that isn't angry.
Yes.
and I had said at the end of the last session that, like, as soon as we're wrapping, and she adjusts to the sun for a second, she's gonna say over the link, "You okay, Nightmare?"
Oh. Hurting. And rather weak. Don't suppose you have something in your bag of tricks for that, do you?
Yes.
If not,
If you come
I may
back to
set up
us.
the next one.
If you come back to us, I can heal you. She's below bloody, right?
I am 90% sure. Let me double check. I think I stored it on hers. It looks like actually she's just above it, actually.
God damn it.
What?
Fucking
Her main worry was losing out to strength drain. Because she was getting walled by the shadows.
Alright, let me see if I have prepared,
Because I believe she lost 6 points of strength.
Right. But I need, greater restoration for that, or is lesser restoration enough?
Greater restoration. Nightmare has rejoined the group. There has been discussions about trying to heal her the strength damage she sustained from the shadows, as they were easily able to hit her due to her having low AC. But the only options, only things that can cure that are either rest or greater restoration, neither of which the party currently has access to. And so Roland has opted to drink a potion he received a long time ago at this point to get a long rest from it, change his prepared spells, and be able to use part of a diamond he has to cast Greater Restoration. As I'm not going to nitpick over it being a diamond or powdered diamonds, it's the same material, of the same value, good enough for me.
Technically, he wasn't even the one who received it. Well, no, okay. I guess he did receive it from Eskel. I guess you can count that.
Look, so long as the cleric or the paladin has it, you're in good hands. You want to make sure the person who can save your life has what they need to do it.
Oop.
That's what we call life insurance out here.
Alright, so I will probably lead the charge off of the field back to the rest area.
Yes. And you'll be able to do it to, you in particular, to large applause as...
I was doing all the flashy shit.
Yeah, you're calling down thunder and lightning.
Lightning
thunder,
and
lightning,
flame
fire.
strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't remember what I did during that fight.
Ray of Frost and Magic Missile.
Yo,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Misty Step.
Yeah.
So he'll,
And more importantly, see invisibility to try and help eliminate the hounds, which could take advantage of that.
Yeah. So mostly hard to see effects, but still very useful.
Yes.
I might be a little bit more interesting for the next one.
Hey, Magic Missile's nothing to scoff at, so also fairly high level casting.
Yeah, they're just hard to see. Because they're just darts of force.
Yeah, I guess in my mind I have more of the BG3 version in my head, where it's like the red bolts.
I mean, they could be, if you wanted them to be. I think they're sometimes described as sparkly, but I might be thinking of Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I think Eldritch Blast is more like the amorphous formers. Magic Missile is flashy, but will not miss for anything. Other than shield.
So he'll...
Glowing darts of magical force.
Oh, they do glow.
Shiny.
So yeah, having those 5 motes of light pierce the darkness and slam into the creature, that'd be fairly flashy too.
Yeah. But he'll, hands above his head, you can see the blush on his cheeks as he waves, looking around at this crowd. And sees how, his different, turning and waving, putting his arms up and down changes the cheers, realizing he has some, modicum of control over the response of the crowd, which is really new for him.
Yeah. And for the record, Aurelian would also be getting his fair share of cheers, because at the very just the pure stamina he brought to the fight is impressive. But the quick thinking with shoving his lit weapon into the enemy and leaving it there, not too shabby either.
I think at some point, when they're getting close to the door and the cheers are kind of dying down, he, puts his arms down and the cheers die a lot. He's gonna turn back to the other two, and he's gonna quickly, grab a hand from each of them, from Aurelion and from Melisari, and, raise his hands up, right, taking theirs with him, so that all 3 of you are, waving to the crowd to see what that does.
Yeah, when you do that, they'll, erupt back up.
Yeah!
Fan enough to get on this kind of, prance up on 2 legs behind you guys. Full victory poses here.
There is childlike wonder on this old man's face.
I think at first Melisari's like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? As he grabs her hand and just kind of tenses up a little bit and has, that look on her face, and then kind of small smile maybe creeps into the corner, and she raises her other hand and gives a bit of a wave to the crowd.
I would say Aurelion does not need to be encouraged. He's well used to performances.
Yeah, the performance fruits. Yeah, I imagine, especially with that background, you in particular be able to help milk this crowd for all they're worth. So you guys are able to leave the stadium to thunderous applause.
I don't think that, that Roland is being, deliberately or cruelly ignorant of anybody else's feelings at this time. He's just really caught up in what's going on. So if he's not noticing people's discomfort, it's because of that. Melisari specifically, he might not have caught that she was not really into it at first, because he was very much just look what I can do. I can make the crowd cheer.
Yep. Not like it's an opportunity you've had before. You've had your small bands of people, but certainly not crowds.
Yeah.
I think my wisdom is good enough that I caught that. Where are my dice?
Oh, right. She
Fucking
brought her
dice.
meal in here. How could I forget?
I'm gonna go with that's either mostly gone, or she at least sent her leftovers to the ethereal plane. So I'll just move that.
So, everybody come in here, and I've got a ton of spells to blow on healing.
Yeah. Before you start that, just because it's a spell you likely have never looked at, because why would you? You might want to take a peek at Beacon of Hope.
That's the one that makes so you always deal maximum healing, right?
Yes, but it's
Yeah,
a concentration spell, so usually not worth it.
Right, I'm very familiar with Beacon of Hope in that I do read it every time and consider whether or not I want to use it.
Yeah, it's like, I could, but Spirit Guardians is also right there for the same slot.
Right. So yeah, Beacon of Hope is,
I will occasionally blow it in BG, but usually just for, like, a burst of healing, then I'm like, alright, whatever.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I've never used Beacon of Hope.
I've used it once in a pen and paper game.
But yeah, it's a 3rd level slot, and I've got all of those, so I'll throw on Beacon of Hope and start concentrating on it at last for...
Well, that'll simplify the math at least.
Yeah, well, then I'm just giving max health. So, let's see, a 4th level Cure Wounds is 48 plus... Cure Wounds, 48 plus 9... and I would gain 4 plus 2. Is that right? 6 HP from doing it. So 32. Wow, that's 41 HP. So, does anybody need about 41 HP?
Nope.
Nightmare code.
I need 0.
Alright. Aurelion, how bad off are you?
Let me just do the maths.
I don't know how I managed to come out of that needing 0, but apparently I need 0.
I suppose last thing perhaps worth mentioning might be worth going bottom up in case you have slots left over for like Death Ward or something with your 4ths.
What do you mean?
You have to give me the full 41, or...
I mean, right, with Beacon of Hope up, I do.
Yeah, that
I mean, it's a single casting spell. It's not like I'm divvying up HP.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Lay it on me.
Okay. Well, I'm down 38.
Me too.
Alright.
It's almost
I'm down
like you're
0.
getting beat on by the same creature.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Make friends.
I was nowhere near that creature the whole time.
That is true. I can drop 2 Death Wards, can't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
For this one instance, I will allow them to stack, because you're also getting them as part of like the next thing of the tournament.
What do you mean stack? I mean, I was going to drop it on 2 different creatures.
I just mean that since the entire reason of having like the Death Ward given to you guys freely is just so that casters can go nuts without having to like worry about killing the opponents in what's not to be meant to be a lethal duel.
Right. No, I totally forgot about our freely given Death Ward. So you're saying we would have, if I cast it, then we would have 2 Death Wards. Yeah,
whoever you cast it on would get 1 extra use of it.
Okay.
Or in the case of Nightmare, they would get 1 use, because they're not getting 1 regardless.
Wow. Okay, then, yeah, in that case, I was going to throw it on Aurelion and Nightmare, but honestly, Aurelion can have damage coming at him, so he takes it a little better than I do. I think I'll give myself Death Ward and give Nightmare Death Ward, because she doesn't have one. Okay, so, sorry, let me remath here a second. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 8 is going to be 32. So, I will give each of us that. So, Aurelion received 32 HP. I will take 32 HP.
And don't forget, when you heal another creature, you get a little bit yourself.
Right, I think that is 5 HP, because I think it's
whatever.
Plus 2.
Yeah, it's whatever your extra healer bonus is.
Yeah, I know. Student of Life, or whatever it's called. Blessed Healer. Yeah, 2 plus the spell's level, so I get 5. So add 5 more healing. So that brings me to 97 out of 98. That's probably fine. Plus I'll get it more when I heal. So, are you still hurt after 32 HP there, Aurelion?
Yeah, barely.
Okay. Let me worry about Nightmare first, and then I'll come back for a second pass on you then. Nightmare can receive 2d8 plus 7, which is 23. And if I drop 2 of those, then she gets 46. That should be enough, right?
Yes, that'll be enough.
Okay, so she can have 46 HP. I'm going to give myself, I'm at full health now, thanks to Blessed Healer. And then, if I give you another 14 HP, are you full, Aurelion?
14 is full and a bit.
Okay. Well, I can't overheal you, but you get the 14, or you get up to your max.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. And everybody still has marked off that they have aid 20 HP, right?
Let me make sure that I have that on Nightmare.
Yeah. Because, that's why I have 98 HP, is because I've got my 5th level aid on.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
monster.
Everybody make sure you have the max HP modifier of 20 points.
Much. How many roll? Okay. Yep. She already had that modifier applied.
Alright, that leaves me with 2 first levels and 1 second level spell. Is there anything neat I can do with this? Not really anything worth doing. I guess I can just blow some create waters to get everybody hydrated.
Yeah, and make sure your supplies are filled back up. You're in a desert environment after all.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll just whatever I need to get some other vessels to carry it in. That's 2 first level and a second level create water. Although I don't... Can that be... Does that even... At higher levels, when you cast a spell, you create and destroy 10 additional gallons of water. So yeah, upcasting it does give me more water. Cool. So yeah, we'll just have buckets of water in here. Fill up a trough for Nightmare. Oh man, turn this place into a sauna as she tries to drink it.
We can fucking take showers.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just created, what is level 1? You create 10 gallons, so I just created 40 gallons of water. And with that, I am entirely out of spells, and I'm going to pull out a potion and say, and now I will restore your strength. Hey, guys. Okay,
Hey, guys.
but 3 hours. Okay. I know.
Fine.
Okay. Sorry, there was a peanut gallery. What was I saying? I'm going to take the potion and prepare Greater Restoration.
Alrighty. Do you have one in your inventory? Either delete it or mark its quantity to 0. If not, I know there's at least 2 of those still in the group.
I believe we each took one and put it in our inventory, so...
That sounds accurate.
Potion of healing. I see bottled breath. Wait. What if Eskel kept it? Which he might have done.
He might have, but I know there was at least 2 in the group. Like, they have been since split for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that... I have to amend what I said. I don't think that, Roland actually has one.
What's his now?
I see superior healing, greater healing, and revivify scroll, Keaton's ointment, bottled breath, and a heal scroll. What is it called? Bottled
Potion
long
of
rest.
long rest, I think.
Potion of long rest.
I just saw a second ago. Like,
Potion of rest.
yeah, it should be marked as like a legendary item, I think.
Yeah, I haven't got one. Manage inventory.
It looks the only one that's currently marked on a sheet is one in Aurelion's inventory. I thought there was a second one somewhere, and I think there is. It might just not have gotten marked on one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to let that one that's not marked kind of go out into the ether for this.
Okay.
Assuming that people are like
Oh, I have a backpack.
good with this.
Backpack, backpack.
There it is. Yeah. No, I was looking under equipment. I forgot that D&D Beyond has equipment at backpack.
Yeah. And bag of holding if you have one. My inventory has a backpack and a bag of holding in it. And so I have stuff in each of those. Okay.
Yeah, so I have a potion of rest, a bottle of breath, a holy
So, am I taking your potion of rest, or am I gaining this new one from the ether magically?
I'm saying this one's coming out of the ether because my brain says there should be 3 left in the world, 1 on Eskel, and then 2 amongst this party.
Okay. Then, yeah, he's going to, just pluck
I suppose
it.
there might technically be 1 on Ari's character sheet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll pluck it out of the air, because he knew where it was. And
It was, you just call it out of the bag of holding, it comes out.
It was actually sequestered right here. Nobody knew except me. And he will drink that. The effects take place immediately, I assume?
Yes, just from the 1 action.
Alright, he looks very invigorated after that. He's going to quickly begin a prayer to Illustrate, to change his 2 5th level spells. Change one to the other, that is to say. And
It's quite possible that you've never slept in your life, but now you distinctly know what that feels like.
It feels very similar to trancing, I guess. I kind of want to just stay asleep. Like, give me 5 more minutes. He's going to take that 5 more minutes praying to Illustrate, and once the spell is ready, he will pull out the diamond from his bag and turn to Nightmare and say, "Thank you for your patience and your contribution to the fight earlier. I will now restore you with your permission."
She'll nod.
Alright. Now, according to Greater Restoration, it is touch. So I do have to touch her. Is it gonna burn my hand?
It will not.
Alright. Says you imbue a creature.
You've been able to write her on occasion, so you know.
I never know if
touch
she
when
just chooses to burn my hand or not.
Kind of, because I mean, she gives fire resistance to riders,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like if she feels like it. So it's just
Exactly.
kind of like
That's why I bring it up. It's like I'm going to touch her. I'm curious if she's going to let me burn myself or not.
You're doing her a favor. You will not be burned.
Okay. Then I end one effect, or I end any reduction to the target's ability scores. So her strength fully restores at the cost of 100, another small chunk of my diamond worth 100. I will amend the name of the diamond. customize. It is now 40. It was 100 for that. So this is now 4,600 GP worth of diamonds.
Last time it seemed to just take out like a chunk. This time it seems to have put some holes in it in just random places.
my diamond.
So now I have like a Swiss cheese diamond.
Pitted. Somebody is going to look at this and say, "What did you do to this beautiful stone?"
So while it might have its full intrinsic value, its exterior value might be dropping a little more quickly.
My poor extrinsic value. I'll never be able to sell this diamond that I planned to use for spellcasting forever. Okay.
It doesn't actually matter, but it's good to know.
Whenever somebody's like, "What the hell did you do to this diamond?" I go, "Oh, that's my healing diamond."
Yeah, we believe in healing crystals here.
We do. I take the diamond, I rub it on your skin a little, I say some magical words, and boom, you feel better. Listen to my fire horse, she can attest. Well, she's telling me in my mind, but trust me.
Oh, Jesus.
She agreed with what I said.
She'll kind of get up, kind of move her husband and say, "Thank you. Now, I do believe it is rather cramped in here. I will be elsewhere till I hear someone call my name."
Of course.
Have fun. But not too much fun.
Was an item that granted the, I don't even know what to call it, removed the sunlight sensitivity, ever created, or do we still just hand wave it? Like, does it exist on D&D Beyond, or do we just, we know
I
it?
think I made one, but I'm not certain. I'll go double check my collections.
Okay. I was just like, well, it's not on here, but it really should be.
It's also entirely possible that I hand waved it just because it's not gonna...
Right.
There's no way to actually make it do anything on D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
My homebrew creations.
Oh, man, that's right, I've got a barrel. I've got a barrel of water.
Do a barrel roll.
Let's see.
Sorry.
Where am I keeping this barrel? It's listed as a separate container. So I didn't put it in the bag of holding. It's probably in the bag of holding. 70 pounds.
Nope, I never made one. Sorry.
That's okay. Alright, I just wanted to check. Anyway, we can continue on.
That is my bad.
Not terribly worried. With the immediate goals accomplished, you'll be kind of informed of like when your next spot is, and how the matches have worked out. Kind of did them relatively back to back, so you'll have some extra time after you rest this time if you want to buy things, make extra trips, watch the competition, whatever else suits your fancy. But if a short rest is wanted or needed, that can also be taken now or later. As you'll have, let's say, like 4 hours, or, well, not 4, 3 hours. 4 hours gets problematic.
I assumed a short rest because, I already got back spell slots.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, you'll be able to get one at some point. Just a question of if your party wants to do it now or later.
I see.
You know, at first I was wondering why I had a few diamonds. Like, I have, obviously, the healing diamond that was originally a 5,000 value. But I also have listed at least one other diamond worth 1,000. Oh, I have two worth 1,000. And I'm like, why do I have those? I'm like, wait, I never slotted a diamond into the quiver.
Yeah, I think part of it's for the quiver. I think another it's because you kicked the shit out of a cleric and you took his diamonds.
That does make sense. I remember that now. That was such a mean fight. Like, hey buddy, silence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the fun part about fighting casters. You get their spellbooks and their components.
I particularly enjoyed dropping the one off a cliff.
Mm.
Like,
Yep.
oh, you're attached to that bridge? No, you're not. You're attached to
Wall of force.
my force. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Yep. There was also, I think, the first fight Nightmare volunteered in. Saw an opportunity. Attempted to shove someone off a ledge. Good times, good times. I liked that map too.
Big cliffy map. People go splat.
Also, where you first met the mysterious stranger.
Was that the first time we saw him? I
Yes.
thought we first saw him in the Gnomish village.
No, the mysterious stranger, also known as Mr. Wish, was discovered by Nightmare, who, as he was kind of investigating the body that originally went splat.
Yeah.
Right. And was like, hey, there's this person down here. Just thought you might want to know that.
Uh-oh.
Anyway. Look at us reminiscing during our hour of, or our couple hours of resting.
Mm.
My part's played by Nightmare.
So, what is next?
That is up to you guys. If there are things you guys want to try and do before the next fight, you may. Or was that directed at the party?
No, it was directed at you.
Sorry. If there are other things you guys want to try and do, like if you want to double check what equipment or items are available, or if you want to try and catch some of the other matches that will go on in this time period, there are ways for you to do that as well.
Yeah, given that
Or
I...
if for some reason you guys want to bugger off and try and go rob the guy who's running the place while he's, watching matches, but sure, why not? I won't stop you.
We were going to trust in the deal we made until he doesn't uphold his end, right?
Yeah. I mean, trust as far as any of us trust.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, if your I don't know if it's information or hunches are correct, but he is a follower of Asmodeus. If there's one thing you can trust, it's the deal.
Yeah.
And explicitly what it states.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
We know the setup layout kind of thing of how this thing is going to go. The what's the word? The thing we're doing now.
The
tournament?
gladiatorial thing.
Yeah, like we know. So we've been in what 2 matches now,
Yeah.
and we've been fighting creatures.
You made it through the 2 rounds of monster matches. After this, it moves to gladiatorial combat, person-on-person fighting.
Yep.
And we know that we're fighting the other people who have signed up.
Yes, with the general rules being, you win once the other team has yielded. Their death ward has gone off, or you have knocked them into the watery center area.
And
with an additional provision of you may technically still continue fighting once your death ward has gone off, but you waive any and all rights to your own personal safety.
Man,
I'm
if if you
gonna
attack
suggest
anybody who hasn't made
Yeah.
clear that they wish to stay after their death ward is gone, then you are in trouble.
Yeah. If your death ward goes off and you take basically any action that isn't removing yourself from the arena, you are free game. If anything hits you before then legal action will be taking place.
Yeah. No. I will suggest. Let's maybe watch a few matches then, see who we're going to be up against.
I concur. That sounds like a good plan.
Melisari just nods from her book.
All right. Do you guys just watch the matches in general, or you go and check to see like what teams are fighting?
I think that for Roland's part, he just is interested in, getting out into the stands and seeing what's available. Since he got the long rest, he doesn't need to hang out in the room this time.
Yep. Then, if you wish to just head up, you might move your token however you need to get out up into the stands. While I've not picked a physical place, there will be a few spots set aside for fellow competitors to watch in between rounds. So you'll have decent seating. And something that will stand out to Roland at the very least, that there will be people like crowds like the other sections at least trying to some squirming your way a little just to kind of look at your group and maybe some of the others that are up there.
I think that if he notices people staring, he'll smile and wave at them.
There'll be some that'll be delighted by this. There'll be some people that shy away at that just because people are people. They will act differently. But the overall reception seems positive, which is, as stated, unusual and definitely not what the general vibe has been in the city before that, before this event.
Yeah, he seems very pleased with that. Deal with the others a second. I have to step away a minute.
Sure. Do you two also just head up immediately, or is anyone trying to figure out who's fighting when and where, that type of stuff?
I think I'll just head up. I just want to see. I just want to watch, and get an idea of what the other teams are like.
All right.
Yeah.
You two then.
I'm just kind
Alrighty.
of following.
If I recall correctly, we're supposed to knock out one team in particular.
Yes,
So I will take note of that team.
Okay. You don't see them in the stands or in the pit at the moment. So it's likely that their fight is upcoming. If they're not either already in a fight or up here watching the others. So you'll probably see them soon. But just as a reminder for you guys, the duo you're keeping an eye out for, in particular, that you need to defeat to earn your scabbard, regardless of the outcome of the tournament, is a duo known under the team name of Life and Death. Assuming I remember my names correctly, Lord Relic, the nobleman who got this thing put together, did not seem particularly fond of them, and is stacking the deck against them. What his reasons are for that, you're not certain, but you know there's at least incentive for you to participate in this deck stacking.
I only just fully appreciated that. Melisari doesn't care though.
One thing you will see from the stands is that while the setup for other teams is not the same as yours, they all do seem to be fighting in darkness like yours, with it only being kind of a light gray haze for onlookers, able to indicate that there's something obscuring their vision, but not really impeding yours. As all combatants will be fighting some variety of undead for this round of the tournament. Though most teams do, well, is Tristan, are you back yet? I kind of want to wait because the next part's less exposition and more informational, if that makes sense. I guess you guys can fill them in. So I don't really want to have them just be dead air either. As you guys watch fights, some teams start strong, others not so much, but none seem to be faring very well against any of the creatures. Some don't finish at all, having to concede, or in one case, it was a grisly end for at least one team member. Around which time the darkness went from being a gray haze to a pitch black wall. You're not sure what happened after that, but there was a break for concessions immediately following it. And if you've seen 2 or 3 teams go through and with varying levels of success, but none doing stellarly, not certainly none going through as well as you did, you'll hear the tiefling announcer broadcast that's now time for the natural end and beginning of this contest. Team Life and Death makes their way onto the stage to show us what those words really mean. You know, that kind of thing. And since, well, it's the monster, so they'll come out on your guys' side, so you will get somewhat of a good look.
Melisari actually puts her book away.
You'll see 2 people. One, Silver Dragonborn with there's particularly shiny scales, wielding a full plate shield and a mace in very clear heraldry of the Raven Queen. Heraldry, there we go. Tongue not working today.
Makes sense.
And what appears to be like a gray or ashen white skinned elf. It looks somewhat elven, but not quite. Enough for you to know that, as for yourselves, and a lot of you, that it's not one, but anyone who's not particularly familiar would likely make that mistake.
History?
You may roll history. However, I will say religion, it will be a lower DC.
Religion?
Tristan, I'll give you the short version after this roll comes through.
Yeah, that's
Was
not
that-
a problem.
14.
14.
Yeah.
You're not certain you have it right, but you believe this to be what's known as a Shatter Kai. One of which I don't quite know what their official canon is in 5e. I've kind of thrown it out. I know their general plane of origin, and so I'm running with that and making it my own thing. These are, and if you're correct, you don't know much, but what you do know is that they are more or less the humanoid agents of the Raven Queen from the Shadowfell. Not necessarily like clerics or anything of the like, and not all serve her, but that is what most of them do, as they all live within her realm, and may in some regards need her protection.
This one is called Memories of Then.
What?
I said this Shatterkai is called Memories of Then.
Ah.
Shatterkai names are always titles.
And based off of a bit of the entrance, you will be able to gather that for the team Life and Death, each of them have taken half of that name, with the Dragonborn going by Life and the Shatterkai going by Death. And in stark contrast to the teams you've seen going through this, they will begin not making it through with ease, but they're certainly not struggling to make it through the undead monsters that they are now faced with. And given what little you know, this may not come as a surprise, just as this may not be their first go-around with the creatures of the undead origins.
Shocking. You know, given the whole Raven Queen regalia.
Yes.
Know why?
I would like some intelligence checks, and if anyone's watching particularly closely, perception checks, if you want to try and get information about these people and their methods of fighting. If there's anything more subtle you can pick up.
Yes.
Because you'll be able to get the broad strokes by just watching, but good enough rolls don't give specifics.
Dear God, my rolls are
Perception.
poop. Intelligence is 12.
Woohoo! My perception, not bad.
Better. Perception is 17.
My perception is 24. Intelligence was just a straight intelligence roll? Or is that like an investigation roll?
Actually, if you had a keep a roll, we can if you want. But I will change what the modifier applied to it is. You can either apply insight or investigation. If anyone's rolled, it's still just keep your same roll, but you can change what modifier you add to that roll if you know what it is.
Okay. Is the perception still good, or is that not good anymore?
Perception's still good.
Okay.
It's kind of get an idea of what all you see, and then insight and investigation kind of if you can put the pieces together of what you see into something useful.
Okay. Well,
Gotcha.
I'll write it down. I can post it in the thing.
Yes, that probably be best for
That
this
way
one.
it's easier to keep track of. Perception. So I'll call it the fight watching. 24. Insight. That's not how you spell that. 14.
And Aurelion, are you wanting to try and gather information about your adversaries?
I want to know, yeah, just really about these two.
Yes. Assuming you're trying to get that through observation, that is what these roles are about.
Okay. Well,
So that would be
wasn't a
perception,
thing-
and then either investigation or insight, whatever your choice is.
Oh, my choices. Investigation. Right, so that's a 6. And you said insight or perception, was it?
It was perception, and then either insight or investigation. Perception was the main.
Oh, perception was first.
Yes.
Oh, well then that's a 10.
And if your passive is higher, still default to that.
No, passive perception is 13 then.
Okay.
And then insight or investigation, both the same. So that's 12.
Okay, so 13 and 12. Alrighty, then, if, one last question. Are you guys, each trying to figure things out on your own, or are you kind of all spotting things and then kind of pulling notes, like putting your heads together to figure out what all is going on down there?
I can't imagine that Roland does not, like, lean over to the person next to him, probably Miss Melisari, to be like, oh, did you see when they did that? This is his first baseball game ever.
Melisari is intently focused and may or may not just kind of grunt and nod as appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think he needs it to be a discussion. I think he's just pointing
Yeah.
at things and be like, oh, like that, and oh, they did this thing. Wow, these guys have a lot of training.
Alright, but there might be, like, more discussion, like more, coherent discussion, like, afterwards, that type of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll effectively just kind of pool the scores here. Between the three of you, not much will go unmissed, and you feel you'll get a decent idea for how it is they're fighting. Life, the metallic dragonborn, is a cleric, presumably of the Raven Queen, though there's no way to really tell that just through visual inspection. But I mean, they're using a shield with her emblem on it, so if they're not, they're being sneaky.
Sneaky, sneaky.
In particular, and while you might not necessarily know what it's called in character, you'll be able to kind of figure out the bits and pieces of what they're doing. So I'm just going to give you the out of character info for it. They appear to be a grave cleric, which is not a common domain in typical for domains and things like subclasses outside of the core rulebook. Going into this campaign, my thoughts were branch anything outside of it would be things for, like, at least for clerics. It's like for those like particularly devout, where like these might be things you could earn, type of thing. So having this means that they are strongly in the good graces of their deity. but it helps make them particularly strong. In general, but in hunting undead and staving off death from those who it's not yet ready to claim. In particular, their channel divinity is something to watch out for. Path to the Grave. It allows them to... let me double check and make sure I've read this correctly. It allows them to curse a target and give them vulnerability to all damage from the next attack that hits them. Sorry, next attack of themselves or an ally. So you can't just punch yourself to clear it. Though that would be a funny solution.
It would be kind of a funny solution. I wouldn't have thought of that.
So this is nasty and best to be avoided, or if you can, bait them into hitting you with something weaker first. Or if you have access to remove curse, that would also end it as well, as it is a curse. Some of their effects won't matter, as they'll require a target to be at 0 hit points.
Alright, I apologize if I missed anything. My parents are leaving, so I had to deal with that.
No worries. Just kind of going over like the more important features of life. He is a grave cleric.
Yep.
Meaning he is. Did you hear about the Path to the Grave channel divinity?
I can look at it if it's the same as the book, unless
it's
not.
the same as the book, but it's slightly different. It allows them to use the channel divinity to curse a target, giving them vulnerability to the next attack they take from themselves or an ally of theirs.
Okay.
So, if you can, make them hit you with something weaker first, or it doesn't say this in here, but it says it's a curse, so if you have remove curse, I will let that clear it.
Okay. I think I have remove curse always prepared, but if not, I'm pretty sure I just have it prepared.
And they also can use their reaction to negate a certain number of critical hits. How many, you're not sure. But you've seen them do it at least once, so it's one less than they had before.
Okay. But that comes back on a short rest.
Not necessarily. Like, the channel divinity does, but not the next thing I mentioned, which was...
oh, I thought that was their other channel divinity.
No, clerics... grave clerics get the Path to the Grave, and the one that all clerics do, destroy undead. The only other things that seem to be of note is that nothing seems to be breaking their concentration. I think it's difficult for you to catch Roland, but you'll see it when they have Warcaster.
Okay.
As you manage to catch them casting a spell as something retreats from them.
Okay. They each have Warcaster.
This is life specifically.
Okay, life
cleric.
specifically they. Gotcha.
I guess I never gave them a gender in my head, so I guess that's why I've been using neutrals, but I'll roll with it. Why not?
Yeah, they could be using neutrals.
And then, admittedly, it's a little more techy than I meant for this to be, but you guys rolled well, so I want to make sure you guys know what you're getting into. Lastly, while they are a Dragonborn, it is a Fizzban's Dragonborn, so their breath weapons will be a little bit different. While they have a Cone of Cold, they also have one that can cause saving throws to push things, or to cause them to be incapacitated.
Wow.
Incapacitated just means they can't take an action.
It's not the status incapacitated.
It's the status incapacitated, but it's just not as bad as you might think. The worst thing would be that you'd lose concentration on any spells you're holding.
Well, but wouldn't you also become vulnerable to other people's attacks that benefit from targeting an incapacitated target?
No, it's like... let me pull it back up.
Okay. So it's incapacitated, but not.
Well, it's incapacitated, it's just... Incapacitated isn't... Incapacitated is usually part of other things that cause all the big bag things. Incapacitated is just can't take actions or reactions. That's all it does.
And also loses concentration. I do really fault 5th edition for making incapacitated somehow, for some reason, mechanically less bad than other things on its own.
Yeah, because it gets included in most of the other things, but it's not the bad thing, which is odd. But that is a discussion for another time. Because usually, when you say incapacitated, people think of unconscious, in which you are incapacitated, but that's not what causes all those things the other way around, which is frustrating. Moving on, though. So they can push, freeze, or potentially make you lose an action. For however many of those they have left. Though since you've seen one of each, they can't have that many, because for you to see each of them means they've had to have used at least 3. And Fizzband Dragons get them back on long rests, not short rests.
Well, I hope life there never teams up with any intellect devourers.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Because their big nasty ability just requires the target to be incapacitated to use it on them.
Yeah.
You know, just air quotes.
Yeah, just. Alright, and then... Death uses a two-handed great sword, and seems to swing it with frightening destructive capability behind it. They do not miss, and they can, but it's not likely. As you'll see, their weapon is aglow with a paladin's channel divinity. For what's it called? I forgot. No, class features. Oh, come on. Sacred weapon. So they're able to add their charisma modifier to their attack and damage rolls for as long as that's in effect, and that's a short rest, so I expect to see that again. So their whole thing seems to be just using a large weapon filled with smites and potentially extra smites to just hit something very, very, very hard, potentially in combination with their partner's path to the grave, to where the biggest threat is, before it gets a chance to do anything. So if you have a way to split them, get those things to be used out of concert, it is advised.
I have a way to split them all, right? Anyway.
There is one odd thing you will catch. While smites are somewhat flashy on their own, there seems to be a second one that he's capable of doing on occasion that is not as obvious, but seems to be sending things to the ground. In addition to making the attack hit harder. So, be very wary of death, as there's a tremendous amount of burst damage he is capable of. But seems to have very little in the way of ranged attacks, so if you can keep your distance, do.
Will do.
As they are able to finish their fight, and after having shown the aforementioned combination of the pressure attack against likely their own Bone Claw, taking it down in a round or two, as opposed to the several it took you guys, though then struggling with the larger number of enemies that followed, they are also led away in victory and cheers.
Ooh.
But before they are fully escorted, and these who are escorted, they are not simply made to walk themselves out. You'll see them both try and get their escorts off of them as they shout to denounce Lord Rallick for his use of undead in these tournaments.
That makes sense.
I would like to get into it, but there's a lot of people here at the moment, so I can't get into the whole bit, so I am sorry for that.
There's a lot of
In
people.
general, it's like, I've got, my mom, my brother, his, like, I have a lot of family in the house at the moment, so I can't do the full bit, but I can at least try and cover part of the...
You can do whatever's comfortable. If the description is enough, we understand. I think.
Yeah, I figure I would start with the description so you know the general point, and then I'll say what I can.
Okay.
Lord Rallick, we are here to punish you for your crimes against the afterlife. How dare you take these people and play with their souls? Excuse me.
It's almost like fouling.
Sorry, distraction aside. You do not have the right nor the permission to take these people from their rightful place beyond the veil. Once this is through, you'll no longer be lord in this city. At least not if we have anything to say about it. And, like, more things as they are effectively dragged off of the field.
I think that, like, Roland is just going to be kind of looking very surprised and impressed and nodding along in their accusations.
Yeah, Melisari's listening and kind of just going, they kind of have a point.
It is at a time like this that I am glad that this fight should not be to the death, because it would be most disappointing to end those two, I think.
Yeah. I'm still going to get my scabbard back.
Oh, I think that should be fine, no matter how this goes.
I don't know which of you, but I'm kind of imagining one of you being kind of like Sokka in the earthbending tournament. What was it, Earth Rumble 6 or something?
Yeah. 6 or 4 or something, yeah.
The boulder is no longer conflicted.
I should have had one more team in here with people like that. That would have been great. Regret.
Or the boulder has gotten over his previous conflicted feelings.
Yes.
So, while I forgot to have those thoughts ahead of time, you would have seen some people with that kind of vibe in some of the previous fights.
No, see,
In
they would be
particular, the ones that went poorly.
I think that some of these teams were not prepared to actually fight a battle so much as give a show, and this was definitely not that kind of a show.
No, it was.
Excuse me. I did not realize there were such places in this world where so many people would simply not care who you are, what you look like. And
As long as you're wailing on someone else.
perhaps that is the reason, but I mean, at this time, I am simply standing here. I am not fighting, and no one has tried to attack me or remove me or say anything rude to me. It is a good feeling. I suppose all of this just to point out that I had kind of assumed after 600 years that I would always be running from the gaze of non-drow, trying to hide myself away from them simply to avoid problems. I did not expect that so close, perhaps, to the end of my life, I would be given a calling that would put me directly in sight of so many, and then to be given a chance to go to a place where that was safer than I should have expected. Sorry. Just feeling a little thoughtful.
Melisari's looking at you thoughtfully, but can't seem to find words to respond.
It is not as good as the bath that I was given the other day, but certainly it is good. I wonder if there are other drow in this city. I should not be surprised to find them here.
It's possible we would have seen at least one more in the tournament. So this is the kind of place that they would be able to get access to. So you might have seen one other through the matches.
'Cause, like I said, people don't care who you are if you're wailing on someone else.
You are
In a controlled fashion.
You are probably correct, Miss Melisari. I hope that it can be. I hope that it can be a sign of progress for my people.
Yeah, no, I am not repeating that in character. The first time I had said it was like a tone of quite a bit of disdain, but as you continued on, she kind of just got thoughtful, maybe nodded, but couldn't figure out what to say.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm just repeating that for
Derek.
Out of character for Derek's
Okay.
little description of, yeah, this is the place they'd have access to.
Yeah. Remind me to do something like what Life and Death did. Some grand statement about Illustre.
There's one thing I need to bring up, because there is a couple large things I did miss when going over Death's kit. One, just as a fact of Shatterkai, be able to notice from a fight like this, He's resistant to necrotic damage. Teleports frequently. I'm not sure if that's through use of spell slots or other things, as it's most of his spell slots is through smites, so it's not like there's a spellcasting restriction on him. But if it is, he has to be running low. But if it's not, then there's something up with him.
Could be a Vengeance Paladin using Auto Pursuit.
It's usually in 30 or 60 foot increments, not anything huge, but definitely gap closers.
Yeah. Auto Pursuit
Yeah, no,
Vengeance.
sorry, doesn't like that.
Auto Pursuit Vengeance Paladins have access to Misty Step